Well, welcome Golden Peeps to this Feature Friday, and this one is a banger. I want to thank everybody for being here like we always do. We make our Fridays public so you can get a little taste of what's going on over on Patreon, which is a whole heck of a lot of love. That's our favorite thing to do on Patreon, is love on our patrons, because they are there for us, for me. Can't thank you enough. So if you haven't checked out Patreon yet, please head on over to patreon.com/Goldilocks. Check it out today. While you're there on YouTube, check out Surge the Purge, his YouTube channel, and Rod Sailors. It's got some great content on it. So do we on Patreon. We've got original shows, we've got exclusive content, all sort of backstage gimmicks and things going on that only you will see privately there, because we save that for some special people like that we're going to talk about today on Friday. So what is this? This is one of my favorites to do. This is your life for my BFF in Minnesota, Miss Janet M. Reed. This is your life.
This is your life.
So I met Janet years and years ago when I had a record deal in Chanhassen, Minnesota. And let's just say Janet's reputation far preceded her. Meaning all I ever heard about was how awesome this chick was, how creative she was and crafty, and she could sew and do she could walk on freaking water. And then I met her and I was like, oh, they're right. She had the coolest jacket on and the coolest style, and just literally style, if you only knew. Just the most amazing human being that I could have ever met right out of the gate. And then we started making things together. I mean, this girl, she could do upholstery, she could craft, she could sew, everything. We started going to dumpsters and thrift stores and finding all this crazy furniture and making everything under the sun. Janet, if you can dream it up, or if you've seen it someplace, she can make it. She's always on the cutting edge of whatever is cool and whatever is hip and happening. She knows how to do it for less or at all, or she just puts the rest of it. She puts Pinterest to shame. So Janet, applause to you. And if there's anything that I can do, Janet can always do it better. So, Janet, golf clap. Now, if there's one thing that a BFF growing up in the same hometown, the same hair color, pretty much has, that you need, is when you're on national television and they go looking for the archives, you can always call Janet. Now, I don't have any pictures of me hunting and fishing. I did it, but I don't have any pictures of it. That's okay. Just call your BFF, because she's gonna have it and she'll lie for you. Thanks, Janet. This isn't me, by the way. That's Janet, but she always, like, no matter what television network, call her up. Her friends, her family, they'll dig up some good photos. Thanks, Janet. Anytime I need a place to stay, when I come home, I always have a room waiting for me. Warm sheets, flannel sheets, comforter, blanket, heater, Godiva chocolates, some Starbucks. Everything is always ready. She does this for everybody. She's the most giving, kind, hospitable person that you will ever meet in your life. So if you need a place to stay and you're in Minnesota, don't call Janet. That room's for me. One of the things I remember from our past is Janet likes to just dress, that's the wig, huh? Janet likes to dress up like crazy stuff, like the craziest, and just go places. Like, for no reason. Janet's not in acting or theater stuff, theatrics. She just likes to dress like crazy stuff. She's always dressing up at the holidays. Halloween's like her favorite. The whole family's nuts, crazy. They dress up like crazy stuff all year long. Especially during the COVID, they came up with every reason that they could to dress up and go deliver food to people who needed it the most. Constantly doing things for charity, Bible study, walks the walk. Way better than me, Janet. Put me to shame. And lastly, without tearing up like I always do, I will tell you the coolest story about Janet. She's been around forever and knows my mom, and my mom was terminally ill. And you know, when you get that call, and it's been a few years now, so I can probably talk about it, but when you get that call, like the time is near, it sucks. It sucks. It's bad. And you don't want to really talk to anybody, but you can always count on a best friend like this to pick you up. And I remember my mom was in her final days, and I said, I need to come home. Will you pick me up at the airport? And I love telling the story because she was in the middle of, again, some party dressing up like God knows what. And she was like, if I can get away from my party with all these guests, and I'm like, oh God, forget it. No, don't do it. I'll get, somebody else can get me a ride. No, I'll do it. And I think I said, only if you stay in like whatever outfit that you're in for your cosplay or your party or whatever it is, right? I kid you not, I am totally distraught and annoyed, and I'm at the airport and I'm looking for my friend and I can't see her, but there's some freaky lady in the distance beckoning me to come, and I'm like, what the, seriously? Like, I was getting really hot. I was getting annoyed because I'm not in a good mood and I don't know who this freaky lady is. Yet she kept doing it. And finally she comes over to me and she's like, it's me. And I'm like, she had like on a black wig. I did not recognize her at all. And that took the edge off. That's what a best friend does. I'll never forget that. And I'll never forget her walking me in with her hand on my back to my mom in hospice, dying. There's no memory like that other than one knowing that you didn't face it alone, because there were a lot of people in that room around my mom, but to me, it felt like time just stood still, and I was the only one there, like in a movie when it zooms up, and I could hear my heart beating. I could feel it like it was pounding out of my chest, but I could feel her hand on my back. And I will always, always remember that. So if you ever have to sum up what a best friend is, or what a great human being is, remember that last story, because that was tough for me to be there, let alone somebody who wasn't. Well, you are a part of our family, Janet, but you know what I mean. That's best friend material. So Feature Friday, this is your life, Janet. Now you're gonna hear from Serge. Look, I didn't even cry. I'm too out of it, and you know why, to even cry. But thanks for being here. Thanks for being one of our patrons. I couldn't think of a more awesome person to be here in the mix. Love you, girl. Stay safe to all of you, and stay golden.
Yo, what is up, guys? It is your Feature Friday. My name is Serge. I'm here with you today. Before I get into Feature Friday, I just want to share a couple things. Make sure you head on over to my Subscribe Star page if you're into podcasts, conspiracy theories, or want to dive down the rabbit hole. I now have a special Discord chat for that as well, for all the people that were in Discord last week on Patreon. Just released a new podcast on if Paul McCartney is dead or not. Make sure you head over to Subscribe Star and check that out, guys. Also, Christmas is coming up, so make sure to go to GoldieKnows.com and use Goldie's Amazon link for all your purchases, as she gets a little cut from that, and it costs you no extra to do so we would much appreciate that. Today's Feature Friday is all about our patron / Goldie's best friend, Janet. Thank you for being a patron, Janet. We much appreciate it. Janet's from Minnesota as well. Janet is all about friends, family, extended family, going and camping, unplugging from society, no cell phones. And honestly, I don't blame you. Screw cell phones, man. I'm actually using my phone to film this video right now. It's like they just dominate my life. Janet usually always makes sure Goldie has her Starbucks drink, which has been passed down to the band now, because it seems like we're hitting Starbucks every damn day that I hang out with the band. And I have the rewards points now, because Starbucks is like the most expensive coffee in the entire world. But it's pretty good, because Goldie definitely loves her chai. No foam, no water, 2 extra pumps of chai with no room. If they ever get it right at Starbucks, the drink actually tastes pretty damn good. Janet also gives some of the best gifts, usually whenever Goldie's at Janet's house. Most of the things in Janet's house that Goldie's eyeing down actually turned out to be a gift for Goldie that Janet kept for herself. Janet also is really good at building stuff. If you want to take a look at all these pictures of the chairs, her living room, she literally has built all this stuff herself, which I'm sure some of those skills have been passed down to Goldie. If you ever watched some of her home improvement videos, they seem to share the same knowledge and skills on the same thing. Janet has been a long-time supporter of Goldie and her successes since they were young adults. Janet's even been in the recording studio with Goldie when she's recording the vocals to the song Sometimes in Los Angeles, California. So Janet's been around for a long time in Goldie's life. And we thank you, Janet, for being a patron and supporting our endeavors here. Thank you for also helping us do the test run of Lock Up Your Love. We greatly appreciate it. So Janet, I hope you enjoyed this Feature Friday as much as I enjoyed making it for you. Love all of you for being here on Patreon, and I hope you have a good rest of this Friday. Peace out.